guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This guy's in his mid-30s, he works in the tech sector, does quite well for himself, divorced, and he's writing in asking my advice as well as you guys about a little scenario he has with a former girlfriend. You're going to see that after his divorce, where things obviously didn't work out with his first marriage, he eventually licked his wounds, got back into the dating scenes, and started dating this gal from somewhere in Asia. Sounds like he was a passport bro. And thought everything was going great for a while, and then basically she informed him that her mother was sick and was laying on thick about the woes, and he gave a bunch of money to help out. Well, guess what? No good goes unpunished, and the old saying about you give a mouse a cookie and ask for a glass of milk, but then she's back asking for more money, and he's realizing that, you know what? She's taking advantage of me. Well, he breaks up with her, but now she's laying on the guilt thick that she's going to off herself if he can't keep helping her with the money. And because this guy's a good guy, a little too good, he's conflicted about this. You know, I don't want her to do that and everything like that, and he's looking for advice. So I'm going to go through this one, guys, and give him a piece of my mind, piece of advice here. And it really is about human nature, how people sadly will take advantage of you, take advantage of good people, and you got to be aware of that and draw up boundaries and not be so quick to, well, you know, you'll see. So he says here, hey, SSM, long-time listener here, first-time caller. I have a problem, and I'm not sure how to deal with this. It is happening right now in real time, and some input is welcome. But I understand if this isn't something you can get around too quickly. In fact, you probably can't, and that's okay. Well, today's your lucky day. My problem in a nutshell is that I fed the wildlife and now it threatens to hurt itself if I stop. Some background about me. I'm a man in my mid-30s. I make 6 figures in tech. And no, it's not $101,000 a year. In other words, obviously you're way up in the 6 figures, so congratulations, brother. After watching hundreds of your videos, I know you would smack me for a lot of my relationship history. But I'm comfortable with almost all of it. Until recently. I had a few long-term relationships with gals during high school and early college, all with their own crazy stories that would put a lot of the ones you read to shame. And then I joined the Marines after finally I had enough of the Midwest gals who all seemed high off their own stink. Marines, huh? Awesome. While in the Marines, I met a nice Asian gal who was crazy about me. You're a Marine. You're a badass. Women love a man in uniform. I had come to the conclusion that the problem with my past girlfriends was they were white, and I had heard that Asian girls were submissive and loving, the opposite of what the Midwest girls were for me, so I gave her a shot. Bro, just because she's Asian doesn't mean she's going to be submissive. You could actually meet a pretty Asian girl or any gal that's feminine and submissive, but if a guy acts like a pussy, granted you're a Marine, you could be a Marine and a guy's guy, but with her kissing her butt, being a pushover, put her on the pedestal, and she'll lose respect for you, that submissiveness will go away real quick. We married when I was 24 years old and she was 29. Smack! Why'd you get married 24? What was the freaking rush? And she's 5 years older than you? That's a lot of more years older than you to have skills to definitely manipulate and take advantage of if she's that type of person. Well, and you know. Come on, dude. And we had 2 kids together. I'm 100% sure they're my kids. Unfortunately, she was not from one of the countries of submissive women, after all, so a few years down the line, after I left the military, she started on a new degree and put on the freshman 15. Or you left the military, started working, and you put on the freshman 15. Okay. She got mean and bitter, and we divorced about a decade later. Now, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but I'm going to probably guess, given what I'm putting together in your story, because I read this already, that you may have done a lot of things wrong in terms of going soft, even though you're a Marine. Well, you're always a Marine. Kissing her butt, that type of thing, and she lost respect for you. Or she put on a big freaking show to get you to marry her. I don't know. And I don't know if she's an American Asian woman or you met her overseas. This is where the problem started. I was comfortable again at last. Following the divorce, I was doing things I liked doing, spending time with my boys, and have been trying to get back into shape, but the lack of bedroom fun was starting to get to me. I didn't want to get into a situation with another mean old woman, as I like to call her, to piss her off, so I aimed younger and ended up meeting a nice gal from Central Asia in her 20s. Okay, so the gal's in her 20s and you're in your 30s. Now, again, is she from Central Asia, but here in the States? Is her family from Central Asia, but she's an American now? Or did you actually meet her in Central Asia in your travels, like as a passport bro? It's very important. She came from a very conservative culture and family, has a body count that would be low in the 1950s. For the 1950s? Well, how do you know that? How do you really know where her body count is? She can tell you anything she wants. And is an easy 9.5 without makeup. I actually felt pretty lucky that she was dealing with me. You felt lucky? Smack! No, she should be the lucky one. You're a Marine. You are in your mid-30s, your prime's beginning. You work in the tech sector. You're making, obviously, in the six figures, beyond $101,000 a year, so you're doing very well for yourself. No, she's lucky. Already, I can tell that you have that mindset. Well, she's a beautiful woman, I'm lucky. No. You are the catch, my man. You got to have that mentality. This gets you in trouble. Anyway. And by the time she wanted a real relationship and dropped the L-bomb, I thought maybe I would let this happen again, despite my disinterest in another marriage. Why would you get married again? It's crazy after what you went through. After a while, she said that her mom has cancer and she had to go home to help take care of her and pay off medical debt. Okay, so mom's overseas, wherever her country is in Central Asia. The debt was really low because it was a poor country and I do pretty well for myself, so I gave her money to pay that off. Now, that's a nice thing. You have the ability to help, and it wasn't probably a whole lot of money in American money. You do well for yourself. That's really nice of you as a human being. The problem is that there's a lot of scammers out there. And how do you really know her mom was sick? How do you know it wasn't a fucking scam? How do you know she doesn't have 5 boyfriends? Seriously. It felt good to help, and she was over the moon. It wasn't long before she asked for money again. And I had to tell her, look, I'm not a sugar daddy. She said to me, you're with me or you're not. But I said, look, I'm not a sugar daddy. You're with me or you're not, but I'm not your ATM. She said that she understands, but she continued coming to me with escalating emergencies and that she needed money for, saying that it is the man's job to help his woman financially. Until I finally told her that I just don't trust her anymore and I broke it off with her. Good for you. See, you do a nice thing, you're trying, because she's your girlfriend and she's dropping the I love yous and crap, and then all of a sudden mom has a medical emergency. Not huge money, obviously, in American money, so you wanted to help out, and next thing you know, all sorts of emergencies and problems are arising, and you're like, no, drawing the line. Who can blame you? And now you're the bad guy. Again, give a mouse a cookie and ask for a glass of milk. Well, we're not done. Now she continues to send me messages claiming that she is self-deleting, that she gave up everything for me, blah, blah, blah. I know this is probably bullshit to manipulate me, but my military background makes self-deletion hard to wave away. Due to the sheer numbers of friends who have done that, including one this year, who I talked to 2 weeks prior. Is there something I can and should do, other than blocking and praying for her? Or is that the only option? I've always been the good man protector type, and the possibility of her doing something, no matter how slim, paralyzes me with guilt, thinking that I should do something. Thanks for taking the time to read this, even if you don't respond, or even if the answer is what I expect it to be. Bro, I'm going to get to the point. Block her and be done with her, and pray to the Lord Almighty that she doesn't off herself, and let her be somebody else's problem. You've gone above and beyond. It is not your job to be her caretaker. She's not your freaking wife. And even if she was, there's too many red flags here. And guess what? You said she's as good looking as she is in her 20s. She's a 9.5 out of 10 and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? I'm sure she has no problem finding other guys just like you to rope in and, let her be somebody else's problem. It is very likely, extremely likely, that she wants to offer herself to get, if you can't help her. It's complete bullshit. She knows you. She has your number. She has lived life long enough. She knows men quite well that can see a bleeding heart when she knows a bleeding heart when she sees one. And if all the other attempts to get money out didn't work, now I'm going to off myself. If she's here in the U.S., and you know where she is, fine. And you can call local law enforcement and let them know about her threatening this or whatever. But beyond that, if she's in another part of the world, in her home country, there's nothing you can do. End of story. Block her, move on, and pray. And that's that. And don't feel bad, because she's taking advantage of you. End of freaking story here. You are a good guy, obviously, but you're too good. You know, you're in the nice guy category here, obviously, and she's taking advantage of it, you know? So look at it like this. You got to fuck a hot Asian chick in her 20s for a while. You had fun there. Yeah, you paid for it, of course, you know, but regardless, time to move on. And stop being so quick to, you know, there's nothing wrong with generosity, guys, but you got to really evaluate the situation and make sure you're not being taken advantage of. But to no surprise, he helps her out the one time. The next thing, more emergencies, more of this, more of that, you know, because it's like, okay, I got him to give me money this first time, I'll get him to do it again. And now she's her last-ditch effort threatening to end herself because she thinks you're going to do that. Don't do that. So, guys, take a moment, let this guy know. He's obviously, you know, yeah, he's a nice guy, but he's a good guy. Obviously, you know, and I don't want to see him taken advantage. So don't buy his bullshit, blocker, move on. And be very careful in the future with your generosity and the women you get involved with. And by the way, there's no need to get married again. You have 2 children for your first wife. You know, you can enjoy life doing what you enjoy, spending time with your boys, your hobbies, your interests, moving up in your company, whatever you like, whatever you're doing for money, whatever. You don't need to be married. You want to date, you want to have relationships, because obviously you want to get some ass on occasion. Okay, just be careful. That's what I think. But no, do not send her more money. Move on. End of freaking story. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Give this guy, you know, help him out in the comment section. Make him aware that, yes, he's being used. And there is certainly a stereotype about that from gals from Asia trying to con guys over here in the West. It does happen. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.